For over a decade, FC Barcelona's way of playing football, well, it wasn't just a strategy. It was an art form, a philosophy that literally conquered the world. But what happens when that beautiful, revolutionary art becomes predictable, when it starts to crumble? Well, that's when one of its greatest ever students, Xavi Hernandez, came back home. Not just to coach, but to try and redefine its very soul. And really, this question is at the heart of everything we're talking about. I mean, this isn't just about winning a few games. This is about taking a sacred, almost religious footballing identity and figuring out how to make it work in the modern era without, destroying what made it special. So how did Xavi even begin to approach a task that huge? Okay, so first we've got to understand what he was working with, right? The Blaugrana blueprint for years was the absolute gold standard in football. It was more than just a way to play. It was an entire ideology, and it was all built around one single revolutionary idea. And that idea, of course, was tiki-taka. You've all heard the term. The name itself is meant to sound like the ball just ticking back and forth from player to player. It was a philosophy of total, absolute ball dominance, a kind of mesmerizing dance of short passes, all designed to basically starve the other team of the ball until the perfect moment to strike appeared. And this wasn't just aimless passing around at the back, not at all. During that golden era, possession was a weapon. The entire pitch became this complex web of passing triangles, creating a kind of positional superiority that would just suffocate opponents. Seriously, they were left chasing shadows until, inevitably, they just broke. But here's the thing with any revolution, right? Eventually, people figure it out. And that blueprint, the one that seemed invincible for so long, well, it started to look old, tired, even fragile. The whole identity was in a full-blown crisis. And other teams did figure it out. They learned to counter it. They packed their defense, sitting back in what's called a low block, and just absorbed the pressure of 1,000 sideways passes. And then, the second they won the ball back, bam, a lightning-fast counterattack, exploiting all the space Barcelona left behind. The team's greatest strength had somehow become its most predictable weakness. And you can see the decay laid out so clearly here. The pace of play went from electric to just slow and methodical. The element of surprise, totally gone, replaced by a rigid predictability. And because of that, the team became super vulnerable on the break. The magic, for a while there, was gone. So, this is where the architect himself, Xavi, steps back into the picture. I mean, as one of the ultimate masters of the original system, who better to diagnose the problem and draft a new blueprint for a new era? This is what we're calling the Xavi Doctrine. This quote is everything. It's a direct shot at that sterile, sideways passing possession that had started to plague the club. For Xavi, holding onto the ball isn't the end goal. It's just the tool you use to get there. The real purpose is to be vertical, to be intense, and to attack. So how did he actually structure this new approach? Well, it's really built on 3 key pillars. First, intensity is non-negotiable. You lose the ball, you win it back immediately. Second, verticality. You use possession to move forward to break the lines, not just sideways. And third, something called the third man principle. Just think of it like this. Player A passes to player B, but that pass is really a trap to draw in a defender. As soon as that defender moves, it opens up a brand new passing lane to player C, who is now wide open. It's all about creating a free player through clever movement. Okay, so that's all the theory, right? The grand plan. But how does this doctrine actually look when the whistle blows? Let's take a look at how this all translates into real on-the-pitch action. I absolutely love this analogy. The old system was like a metronome, steady, controlling, tick-tock, predictable. Xavi's system? It's more like jazz. Yeah, it has a core structure. That possession base is still there. But within it, there's room for improvisation, for explosive little riffs, and for sudden vertical attacks that catch you by surprise. Now, to really understand Xavi's revolution, you need to know this term, the half space. It's not the wing, and it's not the center of the field. It's that deadly channel right in between. This little area right here is where modern defenses get pulled apart, where confusion is created, and where the best attacks in the world now thrive. And this is where Xavi's genius really shows. He's redefined what players are supposed to do, specifically to weaponize those half spaces. Wingers, they don't just stay wide anymore. They cut inside to attack that channel. Midfielders, instead of just controlling the tempo, now make bursting runs from deep to break the defensive lines. Even the fullbacks will often tuck inside to create an overload. It's all designed to cause absolute chaos in that critical part of the field. And this chart just says it all, doesn't it? It brilliantly shows the result of all those little changes. The entire focus of the attack has shifted. Sure, wide play and central play are still important, but the number one goal now is to overload and attack through those incredibly valuable half spaces. So when you put it all together, what do you actually get? Is this still the Barcelona we knew? Is it a modern rebirth? Let's try and sum up this new Blaugrana identity. Xavi's Barca really is a fusion. It still values possession, of course, but now that possession is a tool for faster, more direct attacks. It's a little more pragmatic, valuing a win over pure, rigid idealism. The team defends with a relentless press and attacks with super flexible positioning, creating this blend of the old philosophy with the raw speed and intensity that you just have to have in the modern game. And this, right here, is probably the most important takeaway of all. Xavi isn't tearing down the beautiful cathedral his predecessors built. He's reinforcing its foundations and adding a new, modern structure on top. It's an evolution, one designed to make sure that philosophy can survive for years to come. Which leaves us with one final, pretty fascinating question to think about. Is this strategic shift simply a necessary evolution to compete in today's game, or does it mark the final chapter, the end of that pure, uncompromising philosophy that once made Barcelona the undisputed kings of world football? Honestly, that debate is just getting started.